can hear the music go down. Lights go down. Motor went down. That's when I heard the highway sound.
What's that from?
It's one of Chuck Berry's. It's not not Maybelline. It's Hot Rod Lincoln.
One of his more popular ones?
Not according to you.
Wow. I've heard that.
You never heard of Hot Rod Lincoln?
No, I have not. Never heard Hot Rod Lincoln. Heard the coffee
This is
colored
working
Cadillac.
backwards.
Coffee
Things are
Cadillac.
working backwards today. Aha. See, it's a very satisfying feeling when you fix the green screen.
Yeah.
No, you.
Oh, what? I didn't mess it up.
Anyway, it's a very satisfying feeling when you solve a problem that you really are not, I don't want to say not qualified, but
Not qualified.
not qualified to do. And you might have remembered not this past Friday, but the Friday before, we had an unusual smell in the broadcast room here.
Yeah, it smelled like fire.
Oh, do we have that thing?
No, we got thrown out.
How are we going to get another one?
We got nothing.
That's not what we already got another one. That means we took one off of one of the other 20 ceiling fans in this house, but we have to replace that.
I asked you, I said, can I throw this thing away?
And I
now?
did not say yes.
Yes, you did.
I did not. And listen, you're getting to that age where,
Yeah. Or I don't want to take your shit anymore. I guess I've always been that age.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm with you there. All right, let's see. Making up with Mark Mazarin Hochlerin. And I got to get to the bottom of the name thing because I always knew him as Mark Mazarin. And I don't know, as we get older, do we feel that we must elevate the family name? I'm not real sure. But it's interesting that we've had quite a few people on the show that use stage names and then want to use a hybrid of the still, like John Cougar Mellencamp, right?
Yeah, you haven't had him on the show.
No. Like his name
Oh, yeah.
is half stage name and half real name.
He got rid of the cougar.
Well, she was too old for him anyway.
He actually is with Meg Ryan.
What?
Yeah, they've been together for a while.
Oh, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's for them.
Well, okay. I guess it doesn't have to work for me, right?
That's right.
So Mark Mazarin. I mean, Mazarin, I remember them playing the Long Island circuit and doing the whole thing. And yeah, so I remember that. And what were we on about last night? We were talking about something, we ran out of time, and I wanted to remember what it was.
I have no idea. I can't even remember what I said an hour ago.
Am I keeping you up over there?
I'm a little tired.
She's a little tired. All right, you know what? Before Mark comes in, there's some gratuitous self-promotion, because I can. I'm totally blown away by the amount of sales that we've had on the shirts. I'm really, they're getting shipped like regularly, and which means that they're running out. So I'm going to play the SLD Christmas thing for you and tell you, you don't have to listen to the music really, but some of those are sold out. No extra. There's got all the sizes in that. That might be sold out in large. That we have all the sizes. Let's start over. Okay. What are we sold out in Marmo?
I got the list.
Oh, there's me. Oh, wow. Okay. So
got
that's Migration. That's Looking Glass.
Mm-hmm.
That's Black Flower.
Black Flower, we have 0 large and 0 double XL.
Okay, so no large, no double X in that one.
Marmo Viola, we have no large. Big Bang, we have no large.
Oh, Big Bang isn't even in here.
Large is our most popular size.
It must
Big
be.
Bang is not even in
Big Bang's not in this commercial, no.
there? Well.
So anyway, so now's your chance. Half price, go to the
Mojave, we
website,
have
no
no
problem.
large.
Everything's easy peasy. Mojave what?
We have no large.
No large Mojave turquoise.
That's our most popular size.
Yeah. What about vines? We have all of those.
We have vines.
Okay, so we're good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So there's that.
So whatever. Yeah.
So
Anybody watch that cat movie?
yeah, did you watch the cat movie, people? I'm looking. Hey, Alex Farkas from NOLA. I see you.
Sneaking in.
I see you peeking in. I see you. What's oh, Black Forest. Can't wait. No. Black Black Flower.
Black flower.
Black Flower. And
Yeah.
and just to hip you up to it, Chris, when you get it, it's gonna come in a box, comes in a box, and the art that was used on the shirt is actually the shirt cardboard that the shirt is wrapped around. So you don't want to throw that away because it's worth hundreds of pennies. But you know, it's part of the drill, and you can kind of see when you. The reason I did it that way is so when you took the piece of art out, I wish I had one here to show you, but I just don't. Took the piece of art out, you could look at which part of the art's kind of like looking at the planetarium. Only not.
I went there.
Not with me?
No. But I went there. I did.
Why?
I don't know.
It was a
It
court
was
case.
Angie. A court case.
I don't know what would get you to the planetarium.
Because it's in New York City, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, we went there and they said, let's go to the planetarium. So I had to. I was with people.
Who wanted to go?
That's right.
Okay. Oh, I think Mark's here. There he is.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am.
I knew you would be. Ding dong. Come in.
I like the ding dong. Steve. Great. Oh my God.
Couldn't resist, man. What a freaking. I'm telling you, I went out and bought a microphone after that show.
You sound great, man.
It's a nice mic. It's you know, I'm thinking to myself, do I get an interface and get like my U87 or, you know, one of, you know,
Yeah.
you know, an SM something, do I, you know, or do I what? And I said, you know what? I'm just going to get something from a reputable company. I'm not going to go Neumann, you know what I mean? We don't need that for this. And no one could hear it anyway. You wouldn't be able to hear
That's
it.
like overkill.
So, yeah, well.
There she is.
Yeah, there she is, Lori. There she is. She's hiding behind me.
Wait, I'm going to try taking these off. Hold on a minute.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Why?
Because now you're going to get the echo.
What?
Are we good? No, we should be good, right?
Good.
Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Full duplex.
Full duplex. I know about full duplex.
There you go. We'll get to that. Tell me. So you went out and got a bike. You got to talk gear, right? First, that's right.
Yeah. No, I went out. What I did was I just looked around. I spoke, you know, I spoke to a couple different people, but I like Blue, you know, the
Yeah, man.
bike company Blue.
Sure.
And I suggested a baby bottle for somebody once who didn't have like, you know, Neumann money to go out and buy a vocal mic. And the thing was just so well made and it sounded really good. And I did a shootout with it against an AKG and a Neumann. And so I'm looking at all the stuff out there and there's this thing, it's called Blue Nano.
Oh,
And it's,
can we see it? That's. Ooh. Oh, yeah. That's the USB one, right?
Yeah.
yep.
There you go. It sounds great.
Yeah, it's not bad, man. And it's got, you know, it's got a couple patterns. It's got a, you know, the cardioid, which is what we use, but it's got a, you know, the Omni. And yeah, it's easy
You went out
peasy.
the next day and bought that thing.
And
Well,
listen, it's one of the,
Lori, how do
What?
you feel about Steve's microphone?
I like it. I like the color.
Wow, dude, I need a cigarette. Oh my God.
I hear you, man. I hear you. You know, but the weird thing about it was, and I don't really, cosmetics. I have so much black stuff in my life. I can't find anything anymore.
Yeah.
I have to get things in different colors because there's so much black.
Black
The
phones, please.
phones are black. It's
Black
like,
speakers.
Yeah, man.
and that's fine if you have a flashlight or some, if you're at Walmart. But in here, I lose stuff all the time. So I wouldn't have bought a black one anyway. And this one is, what would you call that?
Eggplant.
Eggplant.
Kinda.
And it-
Nice. There you go.
They
Wow.
had a-
Aubergine.
They had a
And they had, and it was,
silver
they
one
have
and a
a
blue
silver one and they have a black one, kind of a gunmetal-y silver looking one and a black one.
a
And this
blue
one was 20, and a blue one, right. And this one was $20 cheaper because of the color.
Yeah. Okay.
It sounds great, man. There you go. Good.
It's fine.
Good to
It's
see
fine.
you again. Good to hear Lori again.
Good
Yeah,
to see you,
too.
man. That's
Yeah.
yeah. And it's good to hear only one of you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's, I wonder if I've heard that before.
Well, maybe one night, many years ago, you were, who knows? Who knows?
Who
So
knows?
I never got to ask you about the gear in the background. I see drums. I see
More drums.
looks like synth cymbals.
That's my little studio in Woodstock, and it was funny. But I living in Woodstock in '92, and moved to this house in '97, and it was all because, like what you talked about, it was all dog driven. There was more. They were using our road as a detour, with a bridge that got closed, and nobody knew about the road. Then all of a sudden, everybody was on it, and my wife was really. There was an accident on our road with it's like, this is no good for Barney. Barney can't have this. It's too much. And the dog she was a chocolate lab, and she would go, and she was so into swimming that you go over to Fire Island, you had to hold her on the ferry because she wanted to jump off. So the dog was crazy with swimming holes and stuff. So we found a house, with the water thing, and we moved there. But I was so happy in the other house, Steve. I was just pig and shit. I didn't want to go anywhere. So when my wife said, "Oh, got to move," and okay, whatever. You go out, you look at houses, find the 3, shortlist it, and then I'll come and look at it. I was like, I just couldn't be bothered, right? So she takes me to the houses and takes me. We go with the realtor. We go into this one, and it's got this garage thing separate from the house. And she walks into it, and the realtor's taking her to show her a cedar closet, a walk-in closet. And I'm looking at the room that we're in and going, "Oh, this will work." That's a story of that. I do some because I live next to your second cousin there, and I joke with him. I joke with him, from the time that he moved in, I'm like, "Dude, I'm just not gonna play anymore. Like, I'm not doing it. You can hear me, and I don't want that. No, man, But for recording, the Rolands, I got those so that I could do tracks. And I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk to you about this. I did a whole record on old Rolands, and they had Superior Drummer, and they did all this stuff, but I wasn't doing the pushing the buttons. I wasn't recording it. I just had to play.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was great. But now, like we're in COVID, right? And so I got the drums a year ago, October. I think it was about that time. And I want to do tracks. So now I got to learn how to use Logic.
Yeah, so that's not. It's not a big deal.
Okay, will you tutor me? I'm serious.
I'll
I'm dead
help you.
serious.
Sure, I'll help you whatever I can. Absolutely.
I mean, so our producer's great, and he sends me tracks, and and it's like, I don't know. I've just not, I'm still very analog with.
Well, it's very. I tell you what. I mean, I made the jump a long, long time ago. In fact, I was just looking at a drive from the early '90s and thinking how far we've come.
Right.
But it is. It's like I don't know how computer literate you are. I don't know if
I am.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very similar. You know how one program to another will have the same keystrokes and the same kind of that. The architecture between all these digital audio workstations is about the same thing. It's just
Right.
where you do what, when, and how you get there. But the bottom line is, it's no different than. I mean, it's different because it's not. You're not pulling patches out of a patch bay and patching them into.
Right.
But it really is the same thing. And if you want the absolute best advice that I could give you about it, because I'm in this world every day,
Right.
go to YouTube and watch the tutorials.
I've been digesting those for, I mean, it was, I got the drums, and I got I got Logic, and I got the, laptop, and figured out some things. And Scott, our producer, he sent me some templates. But the best thing that happened was that I was like, I had to record something, I couldn't get it. And I called Tony Bruno, because I don't know if you know. So Tony lives.
Yeah, in Woodstock.
Yeah, but he lives 2 houses away from me. And we're lifetime friends. And, so he's like, yeah, man, just have the coffee, And he came over and he put together this kick-ass template, right? But I just don't get the whole, you record this one, then you record that, you can record over it, next to it, upside down.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll
want
tell
to
you.
push a button, Steve.
It's called non-destructive. It's called non-destructive editing.
Okay.
And it's like, it's not like when you hit record in the studio and it rubs the tape. It
Right.
records on top of it.
Right.
It records on top of it, but it preserves the other part.
Exactly.
But you don't have to do that. I mean, you don't have to do it that way. You can use it just like a tape machine. What is it? Let me ask you this, because this is the big question. What do you have for a surface? Do you have anything for a surface? A mixing surface?
What do you mean for a surface?
Like a board or or a 003, or well, you wouldn't use a 003, but some kind of a surface.
Yeah, no. What I'm using is, for these recordings, and the recordings I've been doing, they're solely electronic, out of the Roland brain into an interface, out of the interface into the laptop, right? And it lights up Logic, but there's no manual thing to it except.
Are you print? Well, there is. Are you printing a stereo pair, or are you printing multi-track?
Oh, it's multi-track. They all come out. Every drum has its own.
So they all break out, and so
Yeah.
so you're how many inputs?
Let's see. It's I don't know, four cymbal things and 4 drum things. 8.
That's very good. Very good. The boy in the back of the class. Okay, so you've got 8 channels. You have 8 channels going into what? You have to have an interface. What do they go into?
The 8 channels actually go into the Roland. Then you're going out of the Roland MIDI. You're going MIDI into the interface, right? And out of the interface, you're going digital. Going what do you call it? USB. C into the computer.
So it's breaking. Okay, so that's what it is USB-C, because
Yes.
Okay, here, I'll show you something real quick.
Please do.
Here we go. Okay. This is mine.
Wow. Okay.
And you
I'm coming
see
to your
the,
house.
what's that? That's
I'm
what?
coming to your house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. It's,
We're in Florida.
yeah, we're in Florida.
I got that.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Do you
right.
see, the for lack of a better word, the orange lights that are going across that's my console.
On the right-hand side.
Yeah, I'm not sure which side it's the only yellowish strip of lights.
Yeah.
And that's a C24 and it's 24 channels, but then you can bank over to another 24 and another 24 and another. So it's like I've never used all the tracks because
Right.
and then the compressors and all that stuff. It's really all in the box. I don't really do anything anymore, that's not digital because I don't need to. I mean, I have my drums. You can see my drums are mic'd up, permanently. So
Right. So they're not triggered. That you use acoustic mics. That's great.
and I have them. I mean, I have the D drum hybrids, which have triggers in them, but they're actually drums. But yeah, half of, and I don't know, we can go talk about this all you want. Half of my sound or my musical personality is generated by the force of what I'm doing. I'm not,
Right. Right.
So for me to hear a snare drum that sounds like my snare drum, and I'm not breaking my wrist to make it sound like that, it doesn't work for my.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
So yeah, but by the same token, how long have we been in here? This house?
It'll be 13 years.
So 13 years. I built the live room. We built when we bought this house, but I haven't had a drum room in any of our houses, but the band houses.
Right.
And so believe me, I used all kinds of stuff. I used the Roland. I used what were the ones with the meshy heads on?
Oh yeah. The Yamahas or.
Right, the Yamahas. Thank you. And I have a pair. I go out in my garage and there's like a shelf out there, and I can see my Yamaha, the ones that are hard, that don't even feel good. They're like hard plastic.
Oh, dude, I have a set of Simmons that the serial number is something like 106 or 107.
Wow.
When I was working at the Long Island Drum Center, I was working. It was a great gig. Well, the beginning of Mazarin, I was there and doing the drum clinics with Dom Famularo. I was the advance to promote them to the schools and the education world. And I was working with JW. It was me, JW, working with Dom. But working at the drum center in that capacity, you just had access to some stuff. And when the Simmons came out, it was like, what? So I have the set. The brain doesn't work, just like me, right? So the brain doesn't work, but I've got it there, and I've got 4 pads. The bass drum, this is a funny story, but you would totally relate to it. The road crew, excuse my language, the road crew fucking hated the Simmons. The sound man, our sound man, Greg Marshak, back then in that period of time, he hated them. I mean, they called them tabletops, and they were just abusive, right? You get this great drum sound that, I think at the time I was using the Premiers, and it just killed. It was like you said, it was like part of it's your signature, right? That's the thing. And you introduce these flat, and it would drive them nuts. It was obnoxious. So they tried to burn the bass drum with placing some pars way too close to it so that the plastic would melt. The greatest road crews in the world, right? They're looking out for you, right? And they're like, we don't ever want to see the bass drum again. And then it disappeared.
Uh-oh.
They did the same thing to the bass player at that time, where he had this big double A3 folded horn thing with two 15s that was the size of a freaking house. And it just didn't make sense anymore. And it got holes poked in the side. And it ended up, they floated it in the canal behind Rockaway. Oh yeah. When they knew there was another a base cabinet to replace it, our road crew was just, they were crazy like that. They would do stuff, you didn't need that. You got a new base. We don't ever want to see that again. I mean, did your road crew get into fights or?
I don't. Did our road crew? I'm trying to come up with a proper response for that.
Lori did.
What?
Our road crew was the most horrifically. There were 3 guys on our road crew.
Okay.
No, there were. I mean, the 3 guys I'm talking about. There were many more.
Right.
There was a German,
This was at the height of it all.
a Jew, and a mixed race, black and white.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And they used to go into these racist rants on each other that would make freaking Divine blush.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, the stuff that they used to
He
sling
was in
back.
shock about it.
I barely ever even talk about it. They recorded it once. We had a house in the Hamptons.
Oh, okay.
And for years. And we used to set up all the gear in the living room.
Right.
And then Alan, our front of house guy, would mic everything up with our mics and run everything down through the heating vent. And he had a multi-track, just a 4-track down in the basement, but it was enough to, for us to start recording. And one day they decided to record themselves doing this. I mean, I'm telling you that.
What were they do? Okay. Oh, okay.
They were, it was no
not
one ever,
PC.
no one ever got hit. No, there was never any violence. And it would, oh God, I'm telling you, it was.
Is that your best? What is that your best road crew story? I mean, you give me like give me
No.
2. Give me 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, we used to have this 2. He wants 2.
Just 2. I mean,
I think Wadney's a good one.
You think Wadney's one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's a good
Yeah.
one, but because I was going to do the stripper in the roadie's room.
Good one too.
Well, but then there's Breeze. I don't know. All right, you know what? Let's see. It's tough because there are several. But all right, I'll do Wadney. We used a lot of duct tape. I mean,
how much duct tape did you use, Steve?
duct tape was my life. We used to buy it by the case. And
How does Lori feel about that now?
Oh, I like duct tape.
Yeah, I love duct tape.
Oh, that's right. You guys are in Florida. All right, keep going with this story. Yes.
Okay, anyway, so instead of throwing the duct tape away,
Right.
the road crew began to collect it into a ball that became so freaking big, they named it. And they would
heard about this. This was legendary.
Yeah, this was legendary. Now, you remember Glen Island Casino, right?
Of course.
Okay,
He used to
so
say-
not on the water side, not when you walk out on the balcony and you look at the water. When you walk out on the balcony and you look kind of, in the harbor and then where some of the cars are parked, the parking lot side, right? We used to park our truck over there. I would park my car in front of the truck. We have this whole thing so everything would be nice and safe.
Yeah.
And one day I'm coming out of Glen Island. It's late. I didn't usually hang around, but I was there, I doing some nastiness. And I'm walking by the truck and I hear crying and complaining.
Mm.
They're so mean. They don't understand me. I don't understand them. That kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we had a 24-foot box truck, and so for me to be able to see in, because I couldn't whoever it was wasn't sitting up.
Yeah.
They were obviously laying down, and I'm thinking, is there two? They're too drunk. Is there two people in there? What the fuck's going on? And so I kind of just look over, and it is one of the road crew hugging Wadney, complaining to him about the other guys on the road crew.
Okay. Yeah, they were. That's a brotherhood. That was. Yeah.
There was a big duct tape ball.
Yeah, it's a.
I mean, this was a living thing to them. It was a.
Oh shit!
It was nuts.
So you had a 24-foot truck.
Oh yeah, 24-foot box truck.
I was
Wilson.
18, and I know because I heard the rat race stories, and I think there were pictures that in a 24-foot truck you didn't have an inch to spare. Right?
Those guys used to pack that truck. It was unbelievable what they used to do.
So where did the duct tape ball go? In all of that, you had to find.
That rode up in the front.
Oh,
Where did it end up?
I don't know where it ended up.
I'm sure one of them took it
I'm
home.
sure somebody's got. I mean, there's all kinds of artifacts from various stages of our existence. But it's funny. I hear things about. I hear, especially doing this show and doing it with guys like you that were there right in the height of the whole thing. And it's so much.
I want to know why your band was called Mazarin.
what? Why did we name the band Mazarin?
Yeah.
So my dad, he had a horse breeding stable. My father and my grandfather, they were in the garbage trucking business in Brooklyn for a long time. And if you Google my last name, certain things come up, right? It was very interesting. We were like, there were very few Jews in the business. And we were it, my father and my grandfather. The other thing, it was interesting, my grandfather was a real self-made guy who came from absolutely nothing on my father's side. He sold newspapers at the train stations, to feed his family, and I mean his parents, kind of thing in Brooklyn when they were immigrants. But my grandfather, he was just it's like these interesting little stories. But when my grandmother passed away, and that was in the early 90s, late 80s. I'm sorry, late 80s. We went to the house in Brooklyn, to kind of move stuff out. They were going to sell the house and everything. And we found all this electronic stuff. Like we found all these patch bays, but they were not patch bays. They were, what do you call it? Phone pin, sleeve. They were telephone patch bays.
I thought that's where you were going with it. Yeah.
Right. They were telephone patch bays, and there were so many of them, wires and plugs and all this stuff that was from the 1930s and 40s.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. So like, what the hell is this? And then my dad told us, he said, Grandpa Bill was, one of the engineers of the wire service. So, he was one of the people that put these horse racing. There was no OTB at the time.
Yeah.
And they created it, my dad and my grandfather started a garbage trucking business. And my father, when he left college, he joined. My grandfather wasn't well. He was sick. He had a heart attack. My father joined the business, but they were also had a hobby of horses. This is to answer Laura's question. And they had a stable, and my dad became a breeder. And so, we'd go to the track, we'd see the horses. He would tell us how bad betting is and don't get into betting, And but there were always racing forms in the car, in the house. And we found out very early on that the greatest place to get the name for a rock and roll band was from a racing form because the horses were like, wow, that would make a great band name. So, so of course, we tried out a few. We were Trifecta, right? Came from a racing form. We didn't know what it was, And then one day we were doing the name thing again, and we came across Mazarin. It was the name of a horse. But we didn't know at the time it was the name of a French cardinal. Famous French cardinal was Cardinal Mazarin. It's like we didn't know that. It came from a racing form. Lori, that's where we got the name.
Okay, I would have. Yeah, that's a great story because I always knew you as Mark Mazarin. That's why
That was our management company. So I graduated high school in June of 1977, and it was like, okay, you got this band thing, my dad said, and my father, my mother were always so supportive of what we did musically. And we came from a musical family with my mother. My mother was on Broadway, and it was always music playing, and my dad was very supportive, but he said, you should have something else, just go to college. And I really wasn't interested in going to college. I was starting to play music and we were getting some traction, but I signed up for New York Tech and went to New York Tech. And that's where I met Tony Bruno, by the way. We were both there. And I'll tell you later, if you're interested, about my audition with Swiftkick in 1977. But in any event,
who was in the band back then?
Well, see, that's so. Doug and I, you're playing in band. I have two brothers, and Mike's Doug's middle brother and Mike's youngest brother. And Doug and I, we're up to mischief with our band. My brother Mike is putting out amazing music now, and he's got a new record that he's working on right now. But we were doing the band thing, and I don't know. It's let's see. What was the question again?
Who was in the band?
Oh, right. That's right. Okay.
Who was in Swiftkick?
That happens.
Swiftkick. Yeah, I get so excited here, and I got a little coffee right after the day. It's like, so yeah. So long story short, Doug and I have a fight. That's what you have a fight. And I'm out, right? I'm done. So, went right to Good Times and start looking at, who needs a drummer. So I don't know. I answer one of the ads looking for, and I show up at this house in Farmingdale. And I knew something might not be right when I walked in, kind of like I'm dressed right now. And everybody else is in spandex, high heels, glitter, makeup. It was Tony, it was John, and the bass player who was there, original bass player from Swiftkick. But they didn't have a drummer yet. So they wanted to kick out Bowie and Kiss. And I love these bands. It just wasn't what, and I did
my dress like that.
Yeah, I'm into the Grateful Dead and Little Feat, So, hey, thanks. It's been thanks. It's great. We'll call you.
They were dressed like that for rehearsal.
That was the summer of 77. That was the summer of 77. So the next thing you know, I'm at New York Tech, and I walk into the whatever that where you get food and the Rat, right? And there's that guy from that band I auditioned for. It was Bruno, right? And he's, oh, hey man, how you doing? Oh, you're here. I'm here. Okay. But we didn't know then that it would be the start of a very long friendship. Tony played with Mazarin a million times. He played bands with my brother, just played a few shows with him. It was terrific. He's a great friend. He's just so talented. You just don't know those things, are going to happen at time. But going back to the name Mazarin, right? And It was Mark Mazarin, Doug Mazarin, Barry Mazarin.
Like the
Right.
Ramones.
Like the Ramones, yeah.
Exactly. So, our management was like, you're going to be Phil Bergovoy. It was like, you're going to be Mark Mazarin. You're going to be, okay. And now Doug had it for a long time. I just, and he still uses it on and off, but I just like never gave it up. And I don't know, it's like, it kind of became a thing, and music for me is I wasn't always playing 200 shows a year, when it slowed
Yeah.
down, right?
Sure.
And it became the greatest like networking thing where I could involve clients and friends with music, right? And I didn't have to play golf because I wasn't a good golfer. So I was better drummer than I am golfer. And,
Well,
and
okay.
and I found that with business, people were so interested in the music, but now I have to play golf.
Oh, you poor thing.
And I love it. But
Is there what kind of course? I've never played up there
what, golf up here?
in Woodstock.
Oh, there's a great golf course, and there's a very, very old 9-hole golf course in Woodstock.
Really?
Yeah,
Executive course.
it is the Woodstock Golf Club, and it's been there. It's one of the oldest golf clubs in the country. It's one of those, and the golf thing. Very quickly, I've got my other life, has been in working in sound system design and corporate AV, for a long time. And if you went to the movies in the late 80s and through, the 90s, 2000s, if you were in a United Artists movie theater and you were getting your popcorn and you saw the coming attraction things annoying you as you were standing in the lobby, that was me.
Ah,
We had this, idea through working with the UA people about a brilliant guy named Howie Edelman, and he came up with the idea of getting the coming attractions into those lobbies, and it was something of a niche that it worked out. We produced these reels and we got movie trailers. Anyway, long story short, I had an architect client, a great friend, Ron Armstrong. He's in Texas, and he calls me up one day. I think it was in like 90, 92, 93. And he called me up one day and he said, listen, I want you to come out to Denver for this tournament that we're going to be sponsoring, golf, an outing. I said, this is great, Ron. We'll take an ad. We'll support it. He goes, no, motherfucker. He says, you come out and play. I said, I've never played. I've never even been on a golf course. I've never even walked, like your story, right? And he said, well, here's the deal. You don't come out to play golf, you don't get another piece of business from me ever again.
Oh.
okay. See you on the first tee.
45 days of going to the range and, got a few lessons. I go out to Denver and the course is Red Rocks. It couldn't
Oh, wow.
be a more ridiculous place to play, your first. But I loved it. It was being outside. You're out of the office.
Great.
It was,
Let me ask you a question.
yeah.
Doesn't Jerry play?
Golf?
Yeah.
I think he does. But
Okay.
we-
And next time you talk to him, ask him if he knows that his Uncle Joe
okay.
was the pro at Westchester Country Club
Huh.
and won when the Thunderbird, when the Buick Open used to be the Thunderbird,
Right.
he won it in 60, whatever it is.
His Uncle Joe?
Yeah, my dad's brother,
Yeah.
Joe Longo,
That's
was the pro at
interesting.
Westchester Country Club. Yeah.
That I'll definitely bring it up to him. What I do know is that Rick is an insane golfer. Rick is he's like where Jerry doesn't talk about it. Rick I understand that Rick is a crazy, passionate, degenerate golfer, on both coasts. And his friends with Bill Murray. In fact, when they played their gig with the Murata Brothers band up at in Massachusetts on the Vineyard or whatever, they've been doing that the last few years. Jerry told me a great story about Bill Murray coming to the show, and Bill Murray walking around to he walked around with like a tip cup. This was last summer. Murray walked around and he would just come up to you straight faced with the tip cup and just hold it in front of you until you put money in it. And he went around to everybody in the whole club. And then, he put it on the stage with the band. But he and Rick are really close friends, it turns out. And Murray sounds like a really great guy. I mean, imagine that, right? And they found out later that Murray had also put in,
Sure.
Yeah.
Murray money. Murray money.
I hear it, and I hear it.
You hear it?
Yeah, I do.
You hear it? Ringing noise
Yes.
coming from us or coming
You sound great.
coming from here? From. All right, yeah, put those in. You hear it? Let me see what's going on here. Hold on.
Yeah. Put that on the board. It's good.
No idea. Tell me if it stops. Well, no, I mean now.
Check 1, 2.
It's the microphone. So
Did
much
it
for
start
that
back up
microphone.
again?
No.
Well, that's
It's
not the
gone.
microphone.
Lori's an audiophile, it sounds like.
No, I can just hear.
Look at you. Look at you.
Audio file.
On a stage.
That's very funny. An audio file.
No, but you know what? Lori, you're
An
so
audio file is an emery board that plays music.
Oh, no, you didn't.
What's this?
I'm not.
Angus is all right. Angus, hang on a second. First of all, it's mute each mic. You said, all right. I'm going to mute mine now.
Okay, where can mute mine?
Okay, so now I'm unmuting it, Angus. Now I'll mute the master mute on the. And now I'm unmuting it. All right, so you can tell. Well, I'll listen later back with headphones after the show because I'm not.
Of course you will.
Okay, so
Dude,
one of
you
our
got a
viewers,
What-
Mark,
Yeah. Oh,
one of
so
our
we're-
viewers, Sue Lacente, who lived in Long Island, and she now lives in Pennsylvania. So she has a very good friend that lives in Woodstock and owns an art stationery store.
Oh,
And
sure.
her name's Pixie.
This is in Woodstock. What is that? What do you call it? There's an art, supply store right in the middle of town. Is that?
That's what she says. She works at a art stationery store in Woodstock, and her name is Pixie.
Pixie, go figure.
Pixie. I don't.
Sounds like she's been there a
What's all
while.
this?
Well,
Why am I getting
Pixie.
all this?
Hi, Pix.
Is Pixie on with us?
No, but guess what?
What?
Mark gets to answer the question.
Okay, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
so I get to play my commercial,
Yeah.
and then I get to come back and ask you the questions. Now you've had weeks to prepare, and these are career-altering answers.
They're not.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Around here.
We're going to the question round, right?
Yeah, well, we're gonna do a commercial.
first.
I'll let you go do a line, come back, and here we go. All right, so hang on. I'll meet you back here in about 45 seconds.
Don't lie.
Most of you know I live in Southwest Florida now, and one of my favorite places to grab a bite to eat is Jason's Deli. Scott and Diana Willis have been in business here for over 20 years. The truth is, Jason's Deli has bigger choices of better food. You can eat healthy and enjoy the taste of quality ingredients. They're open 7 days a week for dine-in, pickup, or deli delivery. With 4 convenient locations from Naples to Cape Coral, Florida, they are a must-try. Jason's Deli, where all good things come from wholesome ingredients. And Bradley's Jewelers in South Fort Myers. Diamonds, bridal, you name it. Estate, custom design, and expert repair. Bradley's Jewelers, South Fort Myers. They specialize in amazing moments.
Yeah.
Yes, they specialize in amazing moments.
Amazing. They
And
do.
you have a deli sponsor, which is the most important. You have
Really
a
good.
deli.
And a deli and diamonds.
In Florida.
Delis and diamonds. That's what, that's how we roll here.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question, though? I know you can ask me
Sure.
this question. But look, you got great hair, bro.
Is it on straight?
That's crazy.
I guess, yeah, well, thank you for saying so. I haven't had it this long in 20 years. When I was, oh God, I was playing with Leslie or playing with John, and I don't even remember what possessed me to cut it, and I just cut it. I haven't had it this long for like forever. And
Yeah, go ahead, keep going with that. Okay.
With COVID, he didn't go.
so, yeah. So no,
But we did. We went and got a haircut about 6 months ago.
yeah, got a haircut
This guy that
6
touched it-
months ago. It was a lot longer than that.
Well, we need a new
Well,
one. But he cut
and
like
how's your hearing?
every span.
How's your
It's not
hearing?
too bad. It's okay. I've probably got a dip at around 6K, but don't forget I used to wear the headphones all the time.
You were smart, though.
It was, you know what? I'd love to say, I certainly was smart, wasn't I? But I did it out of practicality. My kit was so big, I couldn't get a proper wedge on the floor. And I'm singing back there. I'm singing Led Zeppelin or the high harmony parts and all the songs. So I got a set of Koss headphones and an SM10 and screwed it into the cup of the headphones, and I was Britney Spears.
I thought I was invincible to I wanted a bigger monitor, it was just, and then, I paid for it. I've got hearing aids, it's like.
Do you have hearing? I don't see them. Are they in now?
Yeah, they're little, and they're attenuable, and, it was interesting. I didn't really have the hearing issues until the 2000s. And it was like I was fine. And then when I started playing more shows again, a lot more. And it was like gradually, like with my ears were, I had the tinnitus and the whole thing. And yeah, man.
What did you do about the tinnitus? Obviously, you still have it.
The tinnitus is, I found that once I started protecting my hearing, and wearing, earplugs and then fitted plugs, and gradually, I didn't have as much of it. But what I did learn, just through the acoustics of the whole thing, is that bass penetrates everything. It comes through your bones and shakes it, and then the hearing aids came into my life in October of 2019.
Wow.
You can remember.
I'll tell you the thing, well.
Do they help with tinnitus?
Yeah, they amplify everything else, so the tinnitus isn't quite as loud. But I'll tell you a great thing that Pete Townsend told me about tinnitus, because he's got it.
Please, I want to hear that.
Ginkgo.
Yeah.
Ginkgo
Really?
biloba. Or what is it? Ginkgo biloba?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Ginkgo.
Yeah.
I take it all day long,
Yep.
and
You keep
it's
taking that, man. That's it. Keep taking it.
well, it's great because it is a memory thing. That's what why everybody was touting it. But yeah,
Right.
Pete said that's what he does. There's really
And he could afford to do it.
yeah, and he can afford to do anything. He can go for the Swedish brain operation or whatever.
Yeah. His hearing is messed up, right?
Gone,
Oh, yeah.
gone.
Ever since Mooney did that, blew up the
And
drums.
John was like stone deaf. Stone deaf. Okay. Do your hearing aids have little volume things on them?
Well, you press them, and they have they're attenuated.
Okay.
They were
Well,
really small.
we got to go
Like,
back
here you go.
25
So
years.
this is it. And it's not disgusting or anything, but that's, it's small. It's,
Yeah. Wow.
it's got a little, that's it.
Yeah, little.
And it beeps every time that you.
You can't see them.
Well, anyway, John,
Yeah.
25, 30 years ago, had these hearing aids because, I mean, he was just stone deaf, made by Starkey.
Oh, okay.
And they had like little volume knobs on them with like a raised X, you know what I mean? So you could raise and lower, it's old technology, so you could raise and lower the volume. We're sitting at dinner at his house one time, and we're laughing. We're in the dining room. We're laughing at a story. He can't hear what we're saying. He's sitting there going like this, trying to turn his hearing aids up, and they're feeding back, and he can't hear the feedback.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
It's when you mentioned that, did you read Daltrey's book?
No.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was like I think it came out like 3 years ago. Just freaking amazing. I mean,
really? Well, I'm not much of a book guy, but I'd love to see what works.
I think you find it really interesting.
I have, we don't want to go there, but I have the first 3 chapters of John's book.
Oh, wow.
In his own hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you ever see the book that was the authorized biography called John Entwistle, The Last of the Great Rock Stars?
I saw it, didn't read it. Just haven't, but I would.
No.
All right.
Give that
question.
Okay, yes, cut to the chase.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
right. I was just delaying the moment, but go ahead.
You see, because you're scared now. Because now you know it's getting serious.
My brother answered him so well. It's like Doug did it. I was like, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I am not my brother's keeper or answer maker.
Okay.
Okay. You've traveled around. I don't care whether it's from Long Island to Connecticut or where it's from. You've done your share of touring. Favorite food on the road, favorite restaurant on the road?
Oh, White Castle.
Oh,
yeah.
bravo. And would that be before the gig or after the gig?
Way after.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. When the appetite came back. Okay, gotcha. Okay, next question. The set list comes out, and can be from any era with any band. Set list comes out, and there it is. Favorite song to play live. I love playing this song, man. My favorite song to play live. What's that song?
Favorite song to play live? Play All Night.
Oh, okay. There you go.
One of our tunes, yeah. No question.
All
No
right.
question.
That's a good answer.
Okay, and then now this time the set list comes out, and you're not so happy to see this song. I don't ever want to play this song again. Nothing against the song, just played it, heard it too many times. What song is that?
It's no song, because if Doug put it together, I ain't saying nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
It's one of his many talents. When you guys put your sets together, I mean, that there was an art to that.
Oh yeah.
And Doug was master of that. And I could question something, but I would never go, it's hard to answer, Steve, because Doug did.
Okay, that's okay. We'll put an abstention
Yeah,
for
we've
you.
had others that said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now drummer, born and bred drummer your whole life, that's your thing. If you could play any other instrument and absolutely kill at it, anything, violin, tiki bells, whatever, what would it be?
Yeah. Piano.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
good answer. Another percussion instrument, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yep.
Okay, and the last one, and this one gets tattooed on the back of your neck. If you could play one show with anybody or any combination of guys, living or dead, who would it be?
With the guy, you mean just one artist to work
No,
with?
it's your fan. You can
can
have as
mix
many
them
guys
up.
as you want.
I'd like to play drums next to Richie Hayward in Little Feat.
Whoa.
I'd like to play in Little Feat, but nobody has ever been able to replace Richie Hayward. That just can't happen. So I would choose the next best thing and playing next to him, kind of like what's his name Bissonette does with Ringo, right?
Right.
Mhm.
I think that Greg has the best thing going, right? I mean, that's what I would do in Little
That used
Feat.
to be Zach's gig,
That's right. That's right. And
Yeah.
he is. I just got to. Zach is. I went to a show with JW, 2000. I think it was 2007, 2008 when the Who did Madison Square Garden, and JW brought me as his guest, and we sat in, like the second row. Interesting story with that one if you want to hear it about Bowie and stuff. But to watch that kid, he's just magical, and and you're part of that club. You're a part of that freaking club, man. I mean, it's. Do you guys know each other? I'm guessing you do.
Very well,
he's a
yeah.
nice
Yeah.
guy.
I've known him for a long time. I know his sister. I mean, yeah, yeah. In fact, John, when I met John in '87, I'll tell you this real quick. Otherwise, you do
Please.
this. When I met John in '87, he gave me a copy of this record that he had done a couple of years earlier called "The Rock," and it was him and I forget who else, and a singer there from Canada and a guitar player from the Mishmash band, and Zach was playing drums. Now,
Way before he was in the Who.
way before, this is '85, and it was Mooney that gave Zach his first drum lessons, not
Right,
Ringo. So,
And that's in
So-
Daltrey's book, by the way. I think that bit you're gonna like Daltrey's book. I just think you get a kick out of it.
I'm not in it though, right?
Not, I don't think so. No. It's real Who stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's I mean, Roger and I have a vacillating friendship.
Okay.
Different, but that's again another story for another time. But
But you know each other. I mean, that's again.
yeah,
I mean,
for a long time.
You're the drummer with his bass player for a real long time. That's the way it is. That's
Well, it's funny because there was always that, and you talked about going to see the Who. The last time they played Miami, he invited us to go,
Oh, cool.
and John had been gone for years,
Right.
and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
Yeah.
Well, this
Part of the club, bro. You're part of the club.
yeah, but that wasn't my club without
No.
John was our
without
friend.
John there.
Was
it's
this 2004, 2007? What was this?
Oh, 7 had to be.
seven.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I mean, John, well, let me tell you what, when you play with a guy and you know what that sound is, it's hard
right.
to imagine the vastness of the Who existing without that sound. I mean, I sat next to it every
question.
night for years, but somehow they managed to, and it's probably not in small part due to Zach, because when they had
Agree.
Philip, he was a little too clean. Kenny, as John used to say, was too tidy. And I think the fact that Zach knows how to rock, he's still got a little bit of that young blood in him. And he also knows how to follow, because he came from Roger's band. And then John had him join the Rock and record on the record. And then I replaced Zach in the Rock.
I see.
And then Zach, and it's a whole big thing. But
That's a great club, pal.
Yeah, it's a good club.
I mean, you and Zach, and Did you see that symphonic thing he did when he was playing the Rollins?
No, no.
Yeah, so they did. I think it was they did a just pre-COVID. They did the whole Tommy thing again with an orchestra.
Yeah.
So they had Zach playing a Roland kit. Where they I think they put the Roland stuff in, and he was using a Roland brain. It was different, and it goes exactly to what you said before about the physicality, and getting your tone and your whole style and everything that emanates from that. It can't really be done on this thing. That there's two drummers in Journey, right? So not Journey. Is it Journey? Yeah.
Right.
There's two drummers playing. Journey, right? Michael Walden, Narada, Michael, right? So
Yeah, he's playing. Michael Walden, Narada is playing.
He
For
played,
Journey?
and next to him, Italian great long.
Dean Castronovo.
Yeah, man. And Dean came out. They did their summer run, and you remember they played in Central Park as part of that New York, right? So, and I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at this, and Dean was playing that kit. The kit that these are like these Roland that look like acoustic drums,
Yeah.
and they actually do resonate a little bit, just enough, But right, if you can't pick it up with a mic, except my wife can hear the damn bass drum in the house because, it's like it's annoying. But anyway,
it's you know what? Everybody does their own thing. I was never a double pedal guy. I was always two kick drums. I was never a sample guy. I was always about, but that's just, that's what it is. I mean, my drums, my sound, my thing was that because I was doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was both the instrument and the musician. I mean, you come together, but and the only thing that look, I'd rather have them and never use them than need them and not have them. You know what I mean? But and I've used them plenty, and I use samples when I need to, but never on stage unless I'm.
I'd be very interested to know what you think. When you get a second, go to a YouTube video of the last 4 months, of this setup that Journey's doing.
Okay.
I'm really interested to know what you think of it.
All right, I'll go take a look at it.
And how they complement each other, or not, with Dean coming out with this Roland thing next to Narada Michael Walden, right? I'm so curious to know what you think about that.
That's what I'll check it out. I will absolutely check
We
it
saw
out.
Journey at the Central Park thing a few months ago.
Yeah, but I don't think they had two drummers, did they? I would have noticed two drummers. I think I
Hey,
would.
Steve, look at this, man. We could do hardware and technology. Look at us. We're talking gear, man.
Love gear.
We love gear. Look at them.
Exactly. I'm in it. I love gear. I have way too much stuff. But anyway, listen, I'm going to
Eat some dinner.
I'm gonna go eat some dinner. My producer's hungry. It's I've got my meal ticket.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Jerry about Uncle Joe. And
Uncle Joe, yeah.
I'm going back to Woodstock, hopefully the end of next week. And I'm going to get you those pictures. Because
I'd love to see
access
that.
to the computer, man.
I'd love to see that. Where are you now?
I have the torque pictures.
No, I know that, but where in the world are you now?
Oh, New York City, 83rd
Okay.
Madison. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That'll be great, man. That'll be great. So, and don't forget, we're having a Christmas party, Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
We got the
Friday.
Free for All Friday, which is tomorrow.
That's right.
can I do a shout out? Not that
Absolutely.
I'm shouting out the whole
Absolutely.
two shout outs. So did you get the record? You got the record?
I got the
CD?
record.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
And your cousin Jerry Murata could not believe that this was done on an electronic kit. He said that to me. Anyway,
Well, I'm gonna listen very closely. The only place I have a CD player is in the car. So next time
oh yeah,
I go
man,
out, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
crank it up. And then with Mazarin, there's a bunch of side projects. Kind of like right? So our producer, bass player Scott Durier, he's got a band. I didn't name the band. He named the band called Dirt Road Down, or Down Dirt Road. I'm sorry, Down Dirt Road. I told him it should be Dirt Road Down, but it's Down Dirt Road. But he's got a gig. We've got a gig this Saturday out in Long Beach.
Where?
Where?
Where is it? Let's see. It's let's see. I'm trying to remember the name of the place.
Dirt Road Down.
Oh yeah, it's
Down
Speakeasy in Long Beach. That's the name
Wow,
of it.
Speakeasy.
Speakeasy.
How
Right.
weird is that, man?
Yeah, because it's
Right, you're right. And in
Well,
Long Beach,
Speaks was speakeasy in the beginning.
was it?
Yeah, for a very short amount of time, it was speakeasy, and then they just changed it to Speaks. But yeah,
Unbelievable.
in Long Beach
Yeah.
on Saturday.
so speakeasy on Saturday.
Down Dirt Road, and he's through the years we've got folks from Broken Arrow that are in Mazarin, and we're all friends, and we all play music together, create music together. So there'd be some of the Broken Arrow folks and
Cool.
playing with Scott. Yeah, it's going to be a good gig.
All right, well, peeps, you know where they are. If you're
That's
close,
right, that's
go out
right.
and harass the young man. Make sure he knows that blame it on me. Absolutely blame it on me. Great, man. No, this was fun,
Okay,
Mark.
yeah,
I'm
so
glad
I
that we,
posted that you're playing there.
yeah, and any dates that you want to share, let us know.
Thank you.
We'll share them.
Yeah.
I'd love
And
to come back just and do another show and just tell more road crew stories, because I got a good one. And nobody got hurt, and it
Wow.
was, yeah, but they're pretty. And I'd like to hear more rat race road crew stories.
Well, we can do that.
Come in on Friday.
Yeah, come in on a Friday, man. That's what Fridays are all about. It just so happens that we're having one tomorrow.
That's right.
And I heard you got some really good guests coming up in January, like platinum rock star stuff coming up.
Yeah, there's some
Really?
stuff coming up. There's some
Yeah,
stuff
man.
coming up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, listen, everybody's welcome.
That's right.
That's what it's about, man. That's what it's
And how's the
about.
food at Jason's?
Delicious.
It's like New York good.
Yeah.
Thank
That's how the
God for that,
food is.
right?
Oh man, let me tell you what. The food at Jason's is like, I remember when I went back to New York after having lived here for a while, thinking, oh, how good must the Carnegie Deli really be?
Right.
I tell you what, Jason's has it down. I've never had a bagel there, so I can't swear whether they're making the bagel chip, because that's a hard one to do. But deli food, soups, and
And they make a New
Oh.
Orleans muffalata.
oh, it's man, it's
Talk about that. You can talk about that because living in Westchester. I mean, that was legit. You get great delis in Westchester.
Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, believe me, Leo's Deli. I mean, we had delis, man.
Oh, JW sends his love.
We'll send it right back, man, with a big
Yeah.
kiss. That's
Okay,
great.
so try to stop
Listen.
in tomorrow night, Mark.
Yeah, so you got to come in tomorrow if you can, and don't forget about the Christmas brother. Angus will keep you posted.
That's right.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right, bro.
Good
Man,
to
good
talk
to
to
see you,
you.
bro. I'm glad that we got to spend the time.
Ciao.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Hugs.
Let's see. Right back. All righty then. So, whoops, that's not supposed to happen. Hey, stop that. Wow, that was great, man. I really enjoyed talking to him, and
And go see his gig on Long Beach
Yeah.
if you're in the area.
brother's got a gig.
Saturday night.
What can I say? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So now you know what happens tomorrow.
Free for all Friday.
Free for all Friday. Get your pasture ready. Do you think they put up pastures?
Who? No, I don't think they do.
They should. All right, kids, we're out of here. Tomorrow, Free for All Friday. And you never know who's going to show up. Is there anything important that I need to tell you? No? I'll go buy a shirt. And there's other stuff there, too. There's masks, there's pillows, there's... What else is there? Lingerie line? No. Anyway, if I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture.
Good night, everybody.